Hey, are you guys interested in purchasing property down here along the coast and you're thinking, maybe I should wait a little bit? Don't. Today, we're going to show you why. I'm Jackson Stanford, buyer specialist with the At the Beach team.
I'm Kaylee Fusey, buyer specialist with At the Beach team.
And I'm John Moran. I am the CEO and founder of Keller Williams Realty's At the Beach team and Smart Beach Investor. So Jackson, tell me what's going on. What are we doing?
You know, I'm hearing from a lot of my buyers' clients, they're a little hesitant. They're worried about, HOAs, the assessments going on. They're also a little hesitant, on the interest rates. And, we keep talking about the Fed. And, at this point, we don't expect the Fed to do much until maybe later in the year. Maybe rates go up. Kaylee, what are you hearing from your buyers?
So right now I'm working with a buyer, and she actually told me that she's prices have the potential to come down with all the new condos coming on the market.
Okay, I get that, right? So folks are worried about interest rates. They're worried about the cost to own from assessments. Insurance even is crazy high. And then they're hearing that supply is starting to grow. Mm-hmm. All perfectly reasonable things.
100%.
All perfectly reasonable. The thing is, though, if I'm a buyer, if y'all are working with the buyers and if you're out there buying, I get it. You want to make sure you get an opportunity to purchase at the low and a low price and whatnot, and have more supply so you can choose. Be very careful. Be very careful. I've seen this before. What happens, we're in a really cool place. Let's look at supply first of all, because for prices to come down, we need supply to go up.
Yeah.
Across the board. This is simple economics. When supply goes up, prices can go down because buyers have options. And if supply is low, well then buyers have very few options. They have to pay the seller's asking price. So look, this is for Destin condos, all right? And it's not exactly the same for 38 condos in Panama City and houses across the board, but it's fairly similar. This is supply, the number of new listings that have come on the market since 2012. You can see there's a little bit of a spike in 2013, fell down. It's kind of followed that red trend line. But then when COVID hit in 2020, we saw a spike in the number of properties listed for sale. And the reason why is prices were jumping quickly back then. And owners thought, heck, I could take advantage of these high prices and sell. Mm-hmm. And they did. So why don't you go back, Jackson? Let's look at the supply. So supply went up. You saw it spike above the trend line. And then when mortgage rates maxed out, because the Fed had to stop inflation, mm-hmm. right? Remember that? And they raised the rates 11 times, I think, in 13 months, record number of rate increases. And that just crushed the borrowing market, and buyers fell out of the game. And so what happened is sellers chose instead, okay, I can't get my high number anymore. I'm not going to sell. Mm-hmm. All right. So new listings dried up. Mm-hmm. Nobody, fewer people came on the market. And when the supply dropped, it held prices up. Even though prices are high, mortgage rates are high, interest rates are high, everything's high insurance, yet prices are dropping. Mm-hmm. And we're hearing, prices are going to drop, they got to drop. Not if there's not any supply.
Yeah,
exactly.
And go ahead and pull that back up. Now go back to supply. We see it's trending down. All right. And that shows that there's very little supply. Matter of fact, last time we had supply equal in 2023, we had to go back to 2018?
Yeah.
All right. A few years. And before that, it kind of bounced around in that same line. So there's very little to buy. Now this is changing. Mm-hmm. This is super cool because since January, these numbers are through the end of the year 2023. But starting out this year, 2024, supply is inching up. Mm-hmm. We're seeing more condos for sale, more houses for sale. It's not showing in this graph, but they are inching up. Not enough to crash a market supply like you hear online with some of these people talking, but it is coming up. And I think you're seeing that in prices. Go to that next one now with prices. Oh, but prices aren't coming down necessarily. But if you look, they're not going up at the same rate as they did.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you might even anticipate prices to soften a little bit. But let's take a look at this too, while we're looking at this chart. The prices aren't that high above the trend line. People think that prices are insanely high. They really aren't. You could argue that a couple of years ago, they were way low. They're undervalued. Look at the trend line. And that COVID, caught them up and then took them above. So again, We have low supply, but increasing supply. Yay. Which might yield a better price. But if you're expecting prices to drop, crash, we're not that high above the trend line. It's going to come down some, but not much. All this tells me in the short run, you're going to have an increase in supply, which is good for buyers. And you might be able to lever that into a good deal. All right. What else do we know about supply? Jackson, you looked into this, right?
Yeah, like John was saying, in the short run, great. Over time, this area is not built out like a Miami, like a Fort Lauderdale, where you can go miles and miles inland and coast. We're a peninsula here, we kind of are what we got. I mean, when you drive down Highway 98, I don't see any new cranes. I don't see any new giant condo buildings being put up. I also don't see new shoreline being created anytime soon. So we're kind of in the area and the era of this area where we kind of have what we have as far as what's built and what's able to be built. And so outside investors looking in, it's kind of the time of whether you want to get on the ship or you don't, because what we got is what we got. There's a whole lot not being built. And another really interesting thing I want to take a look at when people, you don't know you're not from this area, is when you take a look at our county. So if you look on this map, our 3 counties up here, a lot of red right by the water, and you see all that green, that is government protected land. That is land that will never be able to be built on. That is Air Force bases, that is national parks, that is protected land that will never be able to be built on.
So this is interesting, right? You drive down 98, we all have, and it looks like you got all this forest land that's going to get developed at some time.
It's not.
No, it's becoming the era here where we got what we got. I mean, you look even the north end of this county, I mean, it is just more green than red. So the opportunities to build have already been taken advantage of. When you look and you drive in from out of state and you say, man, look at all this is going to be exploding in the next few years. It's going to look the same in 50 years as it does right now.
Along the coastline, and for sure, there's some room for primary developments and some new developments as you go inland. But it's going to be hard. If you're looking for a bunch of new big condos to come in as your supply that you're going to buy in the future, I don't see it. I don't see it. Same thing with housing. If you're looking for housing that's walkable to the beach, I don't see it.
Yeah, speaking of the beach access is like you said, we're not going to have any more beaches that are built, but right now we're actually seeing beach access is being limited. So we're just seeing less and less room for people to be able to go and to get to the beach.
Yeah. I mean, if you take a look at this map, this is the map of all the public beach accesses in Walton County, and you say, wow, that looks like a lot of places to go to the beach. It's not. When you look at that, for there only to be a handful of names, as far as everything else in between all these accesses, private developments, where if you come down here from out of state, you say, man, they have so much beachfront property. Look at all this stuff. I can go to the beach forever. No, this is the only places you're allowed to go to the beach, unless you own in one of these places. And so, as we keep saying, I mean, we'll take a look at Destin here as well. If you don't have your place at the beach, someone else already has that. And so trying to find a place where you're going to be able to go to the beach if you are not staying in someone else's place through a rental management, through Airbnb, or you're out here, or it's your second home, it's tough to find your public beach access in this area.
But you know what? It goes back to supply and demand. If you own a property overlooking the beach, on the beach, overlooking the beach, cross street from the beach, walking distance to the beach, gold.
Perfect.
Right? If you have a property, if you're renting and your renters can walk out and be on the beach, or if they can load up a cart and just walk a block to the beach, the beach access, or if there's a tram, anything, all that stuff's gonna be gold.
It's a monopoly on this industry. I mean, when we talk about everything being built up, if you have your foothold here on the beach, I mean, it is a monopoly as far as having your beachfront property, because only so many people are going to have that.
Yep. So let me ask you about that. That's supply. We're very tight on supply. And if you don't have supply, and you expect prices to go down, well, good luck. But let's look at the other side of the equation, demand. Kaylee, I think you're looking hard at demand. What did you find out?
Yeah, so like you said, whenever you look at supply, you have to look at the demand. And right now, Florida is the nation's fastest growing state for the first time since 1957. So we're the third most popular state for people to be moving to. So as you can see, looking at this chart, we don't see any decreasing. And the population growth in Florida, it's only trending up. And so that's what we continue to expect to see. We have another graph that shows the exact same thing. Like, you don't see the population going down at all. It's only going to continue to increase. Santa Rosa County is up 11% since 2020. Okaloosa County is up 5% in population since 2020. And then Walton County is up 18% since 2020. So you look at this map and you see, Florida is growing. I would say, looking at Central Florida, that is growing as well. But I would say, if you look here at the Emerald Coast, Okaloosa County, Walton County, Santa Rosa, those places are also booming. You can see it's a 30% increase from 2010 to 2023.
So here, let me ask you guys something though. We have these increases. Think back on our supply chart graph. Is supply up 18%?
No.
So we have 18% more people, but we don't have 18% more supply.
Exactly.
That's a lot of pressure, a lot of demand on a little bit of supply. Look for prices to go up.
That's just going to drive the prices up.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at this graphic we got here. You hear in the news all the time, California, New York, people are running for the hills, getting out of there. You look at the exact opposite of this chart. It's us. It's the state of Florida, and then even more specifically, like Kaylee was talking about, where in Florida they're going to? They're coming to the Emerald Coast.
Yep.
They're coming to our 4 counties right here. Then you take a different even approach, and you look at where Hispanics are growing in Florida. I mean, dominating
Right there
our
in the
area right
Panhandle.
here. More than anywhere else in the state of Florida, they are coming here. So we keep harping on, that is just building the demand. These people need houses. These people want to be there. They're going to the beach. They're willing to pay the prices. So what's that going to do over the long run when supply is getting shrunk and tight? It's going to drive those prices up over time.
So let's think about this for a quick minute. You have a little bit of supply starting to come on the market. Good. I would anticipate that to continue throughout the rest of the year. We have a election coming up in November. A lot of people are pinning a lot of hopes on that. So I would look for supply to continue to increase. We took 7 listings in our group last week. People are starting to come on the market. So that's good news, because that supply is going to put pressure on sellers to stop pushing the price up, maybe even bring it down a little bit. There is an expectation about mortgage rates. Pause here. Did you look at mortgage rates? Are we going to talk about that? Or did we miss the boat on that?
Yeah.
Well, here, I'll just address right now. Okay. So there is an opportunity, I think, for mortgage rates to come down. The Fed's was going to lower in March, didn't happen. Then there was talk of June, but now the CPI numbers are coming out very strong. The talk is now June's off the table. But I would anticipate, as we get closer to the election, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Fed politically. Rate decreases there, which should impact mortgage rates and bring them down. This little window where we have more supply and potentially lower rates period of time if you're looking to buy. Okay, here's the thing, that window's going to close fast. I mean, think about it. Transactions have been way down, right? For the last year and a half.
No,
So
they're just waiting.
They're waiting
ready.
for something better to occur or something, right? Jackson, what should a buyer do right now, whether they're going to buy now or pretty soon? We have a buyer criteria form.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah. So shoot me over an email. Shoot Kaylee an email. My email is jacksonstanford@thebeachteam. Once I get that email from you, I will send you over a buyer criteria form. That's basically going to help us detail what you're looking for as far as where you want to be, what kind of property you want to be in, what's your price range, what's your time period. Once we get that going, we can really start to take a look at what we got, what's on the market.
So whenever you send us your criteria, we'll send you a welcome email, and that's going to also include a list of local lenders that we'll recommend, and to make sure that you have your finances ready. So whenever that property does come up for you, that you're able to jump on it.
Okay, because you don't want to wait. The market's going to get moving. And if you're just pulling your financing together, you're going to be behind. So, Kaylee, they can send you a link or they can send you. So, Kaylee, they should send you an email.
Yes.
And you will set them up with 2 or 3 lenders that will help them get their hoop in a group.
Yeah, just send me an email at kayleepusey at the Beach Team, and I can get you set up with multiple different lenders so we can have you ready whenever the time comes.
Perfect. So if you're a buyer and you're thinking about maybe now's my time, but I really want to take advantage of this elevated supply and these potential low rates, don't wait. Don't wait. Send us an email. Get your criteria dialed in so we know what to look for, and we can just simply reach out to you. We got it. We got 3 of them, 2 of them, 1 of them, whatever. Get your financing in order so you're not waiting to hear from the bank if you can get a deal, because there's going to be other folks that are already ready to go and the seller's going to choose them over you. Make sure you're first in line. That way you're going to get what you want, because when that window closes, it's going to close.
Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly, I think there's 2 people watching this video, and they're both going to want to buy property later this year. And one's going to get the property because they went ahead, took initiative at this point before the market turned, got all their stuff in order so they can strike. The second person said, I'm going to wait for the market for me to make a decision. And once that happened, you've already missed the train.
It's already too late. So like we said, Jackson and I, we specialize in helping buyers like you be able to get into properties. So just reach out to us and we'll be able to get that process started. So whenever the time does come, we're able to get you into a property.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. That's the business side of it. Let's talk about the fun side of owning properties in Florida. What's going on down here? What are you guys doing this week? What'd you do?
Yeah, so last week we were in Miramar Beach. Miramar Beach is in Walton County between Crystal Beach and Destin.
Wait a minute, where is this at?
So this is in right behind Whale's Tail.
Oh,
they
yes,
have,
it is.
The water slides, and I believe you can pay and you can play on that all day. Whale's Tail is a really popular restaurant. There's tons of great restaurants down there. We have Pompano Joe's. Let's see, we have a picture of that. Yeah, right there. Miramar Beach is a really popular location for people to come. There's so many things to do. You'll see people riding on golf carts, golfing, all kinds of things. Great restaurants, Captain Dave's.
It's so cool. If you're into the Florida lifestyle, I mean, it's warm out, you're wearing shorts, you're at the beach. It's a good thing. And then you're making money off it too?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what else are we doing? What are you guys doing here? Where else did you go? So what is going on here? Go back to that one. What was that?
That's that reef they built a few years ago out in Miramar Beach.
Oh, off the beach.
It's called Dolphin Reef, I think.
Oh yeah. A lot of people, they go out there, they paddleboard, they go out there and they dive it. I mean, like John's saying, I mean, the Florida lifestyle, I mean, we can talk numbers all day and we'd love to, but I mean, when you get this as part of your signing bonus, as far as your investment here, I mean, it's very enticing to a lot of people. And that's why we keep seeing this demand go up over and over time, because people want to be able to do these things on the weekend, be at these places, go to these places to shop, eat at these restaurants, go to the beach with their families.
Love it. That's here in the continental U.S. You don't have to get on an airplane, you can drive. All right. So what's going on this summer? What other fun things? You guys are young. I don't do anything. What do you guys do? What's this?
So my sister and I are actually planning on getting tickets for this. It's Gulf Coast Jam. It's in Panama City Beach, May 30th to June 2nd. And Jackson, you've been there before, right?
Yeah, I have. It's a really, really good time. I mean, it's cool, this area. We get concerts and festivals as big as this you see right here.
Whoa.
You wouldn't think about it. I mean, we got some really good acts coming this time.
This looks like the buyers going for the condo that you guys are going to
Yeah.
want in a few months.
Yeah, this is the floodgates we're talking about in here. But yeah, Gulf Coast Jam's a great time. There's great local food, great activities. I mean, obviously, I mean, when you look at the lineup they got this year, you got Wallen, you got Jelly Roll, Cody Johnson, and Parker McCollum. So, I mean, it's going to be a great time down here. And I mean, it's just another perk of living in this place.
Love it. So there's plenty to do. All right. So that's this week. What do we got coming up? What do you guys got on the docket?
So next week we'll be in the heart of Destin. We have an open house next week in Destin's the Sun Destin condo. We're going to be going to the water park. We're going to be going to coffee shops, restaurants, and getting footage out there so we can provide that for y'all. And that's where we'll be next week.
Here's one thing I can tell you. Sun Destin is a rental machine. You can pull a lot of money out of those little condos. All right. Is that it?
I think that's it.
So here, let me just recap. The most important thing in my mind that jumps out of our whole conversation. If you're a buyer, if you're thinking about buying, whether you're going to or not, reach out to us. Send us an email.
Jackson Stanford at the beach team.
Okay, Kaylee
Fusey at the beach team.
All right, reach out to these folks, and they'll send you a criteria form, and just fill that out so you know what you want to buy, and we know what you want to buy. And then Kaylee and Jackson will get you set up with a lender if you're getting financing. Because if you're ready, if you're in the starter blocks waiting for that gun to shoot, you're going to have a much better opportunity to get a great deal
Exactly.
than if you're looking for your shoes and you're
stretching.
If you're stretching out. No, get in the starter block now, because it's going to go, and when it goes fast.
You want to be in the front of that line.
Okay, let's go with that. All right, guys, great conversation here. If you want, leave us a message wherever in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.